Hey guys, welcome. It's time for another episode of Ready Set Shop, which means it's Saturday and it means I have some products to talk to you about and some tips and tricks to share with you. So, the first product I want to talk about is, I'm not sure which one I want to talk about first. Let's talk about this first. I received a sampler set in the mail of the L'Oreal Paris Advanced Hair Care line. There's a new hair care line. And, sorry, one of these still has product in it, so I'm trying to kind of prop it up so it doesn't get all over the place. It's the volume filler with Fixolane line. And it looks like that. Here's the sheet that they sent me. So it says, feels like 2 times more hair. Extraordinary volume. Our first clinically tested hair care system for fine, thin hair. New volume filler with Fixolane penetrates instantly, actually increases the diameter of hair. With volume filler gelée. System of shampoo and conditioner tested for instant results and lasting transformation with continued use. So everything is with continued use. So it feels twice as full, twice as thick, a transformation that lasts. Basically, there's a shampoo, there's a conditioner, there is a volume filler fiber amplifying concentrate, which I didn't get to try, and then there's a volume filler densifying gelée, which I did get to try, and along with the shampoo and conditioner. So the one product that I didn't get, I'll just tell you what it says about it. This is the fiber amplifying concentrate. It says in shower weekly treatment for full and lasting volume. Mix with conditioner and apply to wet hair for 1 to 2 minutes and then rinse. The shampoo and conditioner, I liked. They smell really good. They just kind of have just your normal like fruity shampoo sort of smell. It reminds me a lot of like Pantene. Or it actually reminds me a lot of what Salon Selectives smelled like after they changed their formula. When Salon Selectives first came out, if you're old enough to remember Salon Selectives, they had the best kind of it was kind of like a sour apple scent, and I mean it was amazing, and everybody loved the scent, and it lasted in your hair really well, and people would smell your hair because it smelled so good, and like everybody loved that shampoo. It was the rage, and it was amazing. At some point they changed the scent of Salon Selectives and the market for it fizzled. It just wasn't the same anymore. This kind of smells like Salon Selectives did when they changed it. Still smells really good, but it wasn't, when you go from something that is amazing to something that's just good, it's a noticeable difference. Sorry, I have hair fuzz. It's a noticeable difference, and people just didn't like it as well. So this reminds me a lot of that, and I like that. It's very similar to the Dove shampoo that I just showed you guys like last week. Very similar to that, except for a little bit lighter. It's not quite as much of a gel, a heavy sort of gel feeling shampoo. And so I like it a little bit better than the Dove because of that. The Dove felt a little bit heavier, but it is very similar to a Pantene shampoo. So if you like any of those kinds, you would probably like this as well. This, on the other hand, is awful. It's horrible. Now, the first thing I want to tell you is I can't really say from using this line that I feel like my hair feels like it has any more volume or any more density or anything. I don't really see those kind of results to it. So I just want to forewarn you, if you try the shampoo and conditioner, it's just a nice shampoo and conditioner, okay? I don't feel like it's doing amazing things for my hair. This stuff I want to talk about for a minute because this is it's just gross. And there's still some in there, so I have a little bit left. You might be able to see it a little bit kind of peeking out there from the top. It kind of looks like a gel type product, but it's kind of cloudy. And when you put some in your hands, and when you rub it together, it's like a sticky, pasty like you can hardly rub your hands together. It's kind of so sticky and pasty, and it just feels really weird. It's worse than the stickiness, kind of the hair care products that you would use for somebody who's got natural hair that's trying to do like a twist or something. It's even stickier and like a weirder texture than that. And on top of it, this stuff stinks. This is the worst smelling product that I have ever smelled in my entire life. And I have smelled a few million products, okay? This stuff smells like, oh gosh, it smells like somebody took a stinkweed and ground up. It smells like ground up stinkweed. If you've ever smelled a stinkweed, you know, one of those like, you know, flowers, like you grab it and the smell stays on your hand for forever and it doesn't wash off and it just stinks. It's like an herbal smell, but it is like a rancid herbal smell that is like kind of takes you over the edge. And I'm sorry, but if you guys have seen There's Something About Mary and you have seen this the hair gel scene, if you know what I'm talking about, that is exactly what this looks like. And when I put it in my hand, all I can think of is whatever guy this came from needs to go see a doctor quick. And I'm not even kidding. So I hope that's not like too twisted of a sense of humor for you guys, and I hope nobody's offended by that, but that's what this looks like in the hand. And it, with the kind of rancid, stinky smell. Now, I will say about the smell, it's not like it lingers, like I'm not walking down the street like, oh gosh, my hair smells. But I do feel like, you know, if you kind of do one of these things, you might be able to smell it. And it is all that I have in my hair today besides a heat taming spray, or besides a heat protectant. It is the only thing I have in my hair, so I can, you know, style my hair nicely with it. I mean, my hair straightens nicely and that kind of thing, but it's just, I don't know. It's just gross, and when I put it in my hand and I can smell that smell and I see what it looks like, and then it feels like sticky, it's just not good. And to not see, you know, visible results or be like, oh yeah, this really makes my hair like thicker or feel like I have more volume or whatever, it's just, no, it's not good. So I mean, go for the shampoo and conditioner if you want to. If you don't mind suffering, you could try this, but I have to say, stay away from this. Yeah, it's not good. Okay, there's that. The next thing, let's talk about this. This I pulled out. This isn't a product that you can buy, but I pulled it out to kind of give you guys a tip, and because I use it. So this is the Revlon Beyond Natural Concealer and Highlighter. So if you have one of these tucked away in your makeup stash, pull it out because these are good. It's number 330 in medium deep. So there's a concealer and a highlighter, okay? So you guys are looking at this. Here's the concealer, here's the highlighter. You guys are looking at this and going, those are for somebody who's very dark complected, and what are you doing with that? And I'm saying, here's my tip to you. There is no color, concealer, foundation, powder that you can't wear. There isn't. I use this for contouring. This is my bronzer today. So I have it here in the crease. I have it here along the top of my forehead to give me color. You know, you could put it down the sides of your nose. You could put it under your chin if you wanted to. Any place that you would contour to deepen, you know, make areas look more deep and sucked in, or to make it more obvious that you already have deep sucked in areas. That's what I use this for. And so here's where the tip comes in. Most people use a powder to contour their face, and it works just fine. But if I had to rate what the best products are to use to contour with, like in order, I would say use a dark foundation first. Then next I would say use a dark concealer like this. And then third I would say use a dark powder. And it could be any kind of powder. It could even be an eyeshadow color. You know, a dark brown eyeshadow color or something if you wanted to. But in the order of what is going to look the most natural and the best, that's the order I would put it in. So the first thing I would say is have a whole spectrum of colors of foundation, because if you contour just with foundation, it's going to look the most natural than with any other product. And here's why. So if you have a foundation that you really like, and it looks really good on the face, it's really smooth on the face, if you use a dark shade of that foundation to contour, then your face is going to be seamless. Those contours are really going to look natural. And there's not going to be any places where people can tell that it's makeup, it's makeup, it's makeup. Okay? And let me give you an example of how that works. Okay, when you put foundation on, you've created a base. When you put powder over foundation, you can blend powder in. You can blend the color so that there's not obvious color lines. But what is much harder to do is to make the visual consistency look the same. Okay? The consistency of a powder is not the same as the consistency of like a liquid foundation, right? So what you've done is, no matter how much you blend, there is going to be a visual line where the consistency, the visual texture of your face changes. Okay? And it's minuscule, it's tiny, it's not like a super obvious thing, but it's there and the eye does pick it up. So if you can do all of your contouring with one product and have it be the same product that has the same texture, so whatever foundation you use, the exact same foundation, just in a different color, it's going to be seamless and much more flawless. And you're not going to have that visual texture. And an example of why visual texture is important is if you were doing makeup for black and white photographs, let's say, or black and white filming. Black and white filming, when you're doing makeup for that, the color that you use is not what's important. It's the texture of the products that is the most important. And one product you should never use when you are going to be shooting in black and white is powder, because powder has visual, like a visual dotted consistency. And if you have ever seen a black and white photograph, and I find them all the time, where like a company does a print ad in black and white and the makeup artist put powder on that person, your eye is visibly drawn to the texture of that powder, and their face doesn't look flawless and smooth and silky. You can see visual spots of speckled powder. Okay? So, eyeshadow is different. I'm talking about like face powder. Because yes, eyeshadow is powdery and blushes can be powdery, and black and white pictures aside, that's a whole nother thing. But if you're not quite sure what I mean by visual texture, then find some black and white photos where you can really look at the skin, and there's going to be areas where you can see if they have put powder on, and then it will click in your head. Oh my gosh, you really can see it does have texture. It looks like you could reach into the picture and feel that powder. Okay, and we know that you can't, right? But you can see it. Okay, so back to color. If you can use one product that has the same texture from start to finish and do all of the contouring and everything that you need to do with it, then your face is going to be more flawless and more seamless than if you're using multiple products, because those multiple products all have their own texture and they're all going to have their own visual texture. Okay, so all I'm saying here, concealer is like my number 2, because if I'm doing foundation first, concealer obviously has a different texture than my foundation. But you can use multiple concealers. A lot of people, the Kim Kardashian look is basically people using either stick foundations or, thick stick concealers most of the time. Sometimes they're liquid, but most of the time they're stick. They do the dark ones here and the light ones here, that kind of thing here. And they kind of mush them all together. So concealer is kind of the second way, but if you can really do it with foundation first, I would say go with foundation first. Powder is the third way, and powder is the way most people do it and are most comfortable with it, and that's totally fine. I do it with powder all the time. But I'm just saying, when you buy that foundation and you bought the totally wrong color and it's way too dark, don't send it back. that's perfect. That is what you should use to do your contouring with. You know, buy the color that you really need for everything else, but use those dark shades. You really don't have to send things back. And I would kind of challenge you to start buying, you know, shades that you think, that's not my color. Yeah, it is. It actually is. It's a good contour color, right? Okay, so little tip. Hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully I explained it so that it makes sense, because, you know, sometimes I don't always say things the way I'm thinking it. So to make sure that you can understand what I mean. Anyway, so there's my tip with that. Okay, so the next product that I used, I pulled out my ROC Brilliance E-Pulse Technology Anti-Aging Face Primer. It says it smooths and tones while helping to protect skin from makeup. So it looks like this. It comes in a box like this. This came with, I got this with an Allure beauty box, I think like 2 years ago. So it comes in a tube like this, and, you know, it's just a face primer, but I want to show you the color of it. Hopefully I can show you. It's kind of a, can you see it there in the cap? It's kind of like a dirty smoky blue, or like a dirty gray kind of thing. It's very weird. But this is very, very greasy. It's very silicone-y. It's probably the greasiest, and I say greasy because it's not like, I mean, my face doesn't feel greasy now that it's absorbed, but you know what I mean. If you've used a primer, I mean, this one is like super slippery, and you don't need very much at all. This tube would last me like 100 years. I'm serious. I'm not going to be using this up anytime soon. You guys will see me making a video 20 years from now, and I'll be going, I just finished up my ROC Brilliance primer. It's going to happen. You wait and see. I'm not super sold on primers, for me. I don't really feel like I need them. My pores aren't huge. I don't have major, I mean, I have fine lines, but I don't have lines that I feel like primer really smooths out. And I don't feel like it really does anything for my pores. I have some visible pores, but I don't feel like I have a pore problem, you know? So for me, I feel like most of the time primer is just an extra step. It might make makeup last longer, but, you know, I don't have a problem with makeup really sliding off. I mean, I have normal wear during the day. I touch my face a lot during the day. So at the end of the day, I expect my makeup to be, you know, worn off some. And I'm not one of those people who is constantly touching up. I mean, once my makeup's on, if I'm going to go out or something later in the day, I just take a whole new shower and I get ready from start to finish again. I'm not necessarily one of those people who, like, every time I go to the bathroom, I'm like touching up my eyeliner and fixing my mascara and adding more powder. I just don't. I don't know. Maybe I'm overly confident or something. I probably should, but I just don't. So I just am not. I just don't feel like I need primers. I'm not super sold on primers. So, you know, I kind of feel like, for the most part, they all basically work the same on me. I like my Magic's Face Perfector, I think, better than this because it just doesn't feel as greasy. It's a little more of like a liquid to powder kind of feel or something. It still has like that a silicone feel to it, but I just like the consistency a little better. Although, you know, you're gonna get your money's worth out of this because you really don't need very much at all. I mean, just a teeny tiny bit because it's so slippery. So, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the anti-aging part. I don't, you know, do I look younger? I don't know. I'm gonna be 40 in September. Do I look any younger than 40? Do I look 21 today and I looked 40 yesterday? I don't really think so. You know, so I don't know about the anti-aging stuff. I really just can't tell you what I think about it. But what I can say is, if you like the slippery silicone primers, you will like this. If you want one that'll last a really long time, you'll probably like this. And even though this is going to be an expensive primer, I think because you use so little over time, the cost would balance out, as long as you actually use it and use it up. I've had this for a long time. I can't tell you whether it will go, you know, I've probably had this for like 2 years, so to me it doesn't seem like it really is going to turn on you anytime soon. So, you know, as long as you're using it and use it up, I think, you know, it's probably worth the money. So that's all I can say about that. The next item I'm going to talk about, this is one that I kind of pulled out and dusted off. I had never even opened it. But I just wanted to remind you guys about it, or kind of talk about it, mention it. Some of you might have a stash and you're like, oh my gosh, I have that, I need to go pull it out too. This is an old Avon Solutions product. It's the Super Shape Anti-Cellulite and Stretch Mark Cream. So this is like a lotion. It's like a, a skin lotion that you would put on after you get out of the shower. But it works to visibly smooth out, cellulite lumps and bumps, and to help with stretch marks. Clinical testing shows that this moisturizing formula visibly improves the appearance of cellulite and both old and new stretch marks. With the first application, skin feels firmer and tighter. This was a product, it got discontinued. It was a little bit pricey when it was out, I think, for some people. I want to say it was like $16 for a bottle, which, I mean, people drop that for nothing these days, which is so stupid. But, when this was out, it was, that was kind of a lot. But the people who used this, who had problems with cellulite and used this, were like, I can't go without it. It's so good. It really, really works. And I don't particularly have, cellulite is not an issue that I've ever been concerned with or felt insecure about or anything. I have stretch marks. I got stretch marks when I was like in about 4th grade, just from growing, just normal growth. So, I did inherit stretch marks. But, cellulite was never an issue. Most of the people that came back to this all the time were concerned with cellulite. I didn't have that many that, I think a lot of people, when they have stretch marks, they just feel like I have them, and that's just it. I've got them. I think more people are trying to prevent them, but once you have them, it's kind of like, I have them, I just have to deal with it. So people really loved it, and I pulled it back out, and I know why they love it. It works, and it did work. It does work. It still works. And I don't know. I just kind of wanted to bring it up because I haven't used it in a while. This was a product that was highly touted by a lot of magazines and things, and I kind of miss it. The Avon Solutions line has basically gone, by the wayside, and it's kind of sad because they had, really good products. So if you have a stash of these, pull them out and use them because you'll really like them. And like I said, cellulite for me, as you get older, or if you gain, some weight or whatever, you're losing muscle tone, you're going to get more lumpy and bumpy. But even then, I don't feel like cellulite's an issue for me. So that's why I didn't use it when I had it. I think I got it as a like a demo set or something, where I got this with a couple other products, and so I just never busted it out because it wasn't something that was on my mind, or that I feel insecure about, I guess. But even using it now, I know why people really liked it. So anyway, just a fun little retro product to talk about there for a minute. Next thing is the Essence of Beauty Secret Woods Enticing Bath and Shower Gel. This is from the Fine Fragrance Collection by Essence of Beauty. It is paraben free, and it says that it's deep moisturizing formula with a luxurious lather. I got this for Christmas, and I showed you guys this in my Christmas haul. I love the smell of this. It reminds me kind of like is it Bath and Body Works? Yeah, I think it's Bath and Body Works. I want to say Cashmere Woods. Is that right? Anyway, one of the Bath and Body Works scents. It says, feel the pampering. Our exclusive hydrating formula combines revitalizing passion flower seed oil with the powerful antioxidants of rice bran oil and vitamin E, leaving you with soft, smooth skin. Here's what I'll say about this. I really like the smell. As a shower gel, it works really nicely. It lathers up, and it cleans and exfoliates you really nicely. It's not an exfoliating shower gel, but I use it with a loofah, so it does what it's supposed to do. I don't feel like it's drying at all, but I don't feel like it's particularly moisturizing. There's other shower gels that I've used that I feel like when you're done, your skin feels, kind of softer and moisturized. And the scent of this doesn't last. This isn't one that you can use and then get out of the shower and not really use anything else, or use an unscented, body lotion and then kind of smell it all on yourself while you're laying in bed. However, if you layered it with the other products, you probably could. So, you know, like the lotion and the body spray. So I would recommend, if you like the smell and you want it for the fragrance, then make sure you're layering it, which I think most people kind of know. It's kind of common sense. I only use shower gel at night, so I don't. That's just not part of my routine at night. I do my fragrance stuff mostly in the morning. I like to smell good at night, but you know what I mean. And so as far as the shower gel itself goes, I wouldn't say to you like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, you have to run right out and go buy it right now. Go get the shower gel right now. But it is good. I like it. I would recommend it. I would say if you're looking at it in the store and you're like, I don't know, should I get it, not get it? I would say get it. Get it, try it. I think you'll like it. It's not going to be the most amazing shower gel, but you're definitely not going to hate it. And like I said, if you want the fragrance itself to last, then make sure you layer it with the lotion and the body spray. At least the lotion or the body spray. One or the other, if not both. But it's a nice shower gel. It cleans you really nicely. It's, it's pretty affordable as shower gels go, especially, this type and size of a bottle. And it's easily, you can find it easy, like at CVS. So, there's that. Next thing is another product that I pulled out, and this is because I wanted to kind of give you a tip. This is the MARC Super Flip Color Kit, and, this is, I want to say this is the second one. I can't remember now. They did like one a year for, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever. So there's a mirror in the top, and it flips. So there's 9 lip colors on this side, and then if you flip it over, you just push it up like this, and if you flip it over, in this particular one, there are 9 eyeshadows on the other side. So I've been using the lip products, and here's my tip. There's a lot of people that feel a certain way about lip products in pans like this, or in palettes. They feel they don't like them. Well, first of all, a lot of people say, I don't like something that you have to stick your finger in. And I say to you, well, why? Who said you have to stick your finger in it? Use a lip brush. Use a lip brush that you clean off in between, and keep your fingers out of it, right? So, nobody says you have to stick your fingers in it. So if your issue is fingers, don't use your fingers. Use a brush. So that's the first thing. The other thing that a lot of people complain about is when you have a lip product in a palette like this, and then you have powder products around it, like the eyeshadows, that those powder products kind of get into, the dust and all that kind of stuff kind of gets into the lip product. Well, one like this, that's not necessarily an issue if you're clean about your palettes, because they're on opposite sides. And there also is a plastic overlay that comes, so you can put the plastic overlay over the lip products and protect them. So don't throw the plastic overlay. A lot of people do that. They open their palettes and they take all the insides out and throw all that stuff away, and they're throwing the protective covering away. So don't throw the protective covering away. But my tip, and this is what I've always done, is I just use the lip products first. And I know if you don't have a lot of makeup, if somebody gives you a kit like this and that's basically all the makeup you have, then obviously you're going to want to use all the products. You're going to want to use the eyeshadows and the blushes, and I get that. But if you're somebody like me, or like most of the people who watch YouTube videos about makeup, who have somewhat of a collection, whether it's big or small, you have plenty of other powder products to use while you're using the lip products. So just use the lip products first, and then you're not making a mess of your palette. Or just don't be super messy about your eyeshadows, right? Or clean up after yourself a little bit when you're done with your eyeshadows, and then you're not going to be tossing this around and all that powder kind of flies around and ends up in other products. So use the cream products first. That's just my tip. The eyeshadows will be there when you're done, and I'm sure you have other eyeshadows that you can use in the meantime, right? So if you get these and you're always like, I don't know what to do with it because I don't like lip products, use a lip brush and just use the lip products first, or just, just take care of your products and don't throw away the protective covers. Okay, so this week I've been using, just if you're curious, I've been using this kind of burgundy shade. It's in the pan, it has a little bit of glitter on it, but you can't really see it on the lips. And it gives you just a hint of color, but, not It's not full-on color, it's a hint of color. And it does actually soften my natural lip pigmentation quite a bit, so I like that. Okay, and then the last product, this is new for me. This is the Almay liquid eyeliner in the number black. The number is 221. It says lasts up to 16 hours, won't smudge, flexible tip. Comes in a package like this. It is hypoallergenic as well. So it comes in a package like this. It looks like this. I finished up my liquid eyeliner that you guys have seen me using for forever, and that eyeliner was an Almay eyeliner. I believe it's called the I, like the letter I liner, I believe is what it was called, and I've had that for quite a few years, so you haven't been able to buy it for a while. So I wanted to try, what Almay has out now, and they have a couple different types. Like they have this one, and then they have the one that's supposed to match to the eye colors, big vehicle outside. A lot of their products now are designed to go with a specific eye color, and they kind of have, products so you can kind of put the look together. You know what I mean? So they do have those eyeliners as well, but this one is kind of the one that I felt like was the most like the one that I finished up. It's not as good. The tip, it's basically the same. It's kind of like the the felt tip type applicator. I'll go ahead and do a little swatch for you. It's got a pretty dark line, but I find that there's a lot of things about it. This looks really good here, but it doesn't apply like that on the eye. So I find that it's not as black when you're actually applying it on the eye as the old version was. The tip is harder than the old version tip, which makes it harder to work with and actually makes it streaky. I find that as you're applying it, if you really are holding the tip to the side, it works fairly well, but when you're trying to get really precise, really fine line, like along the inner corner, and you turn to use the actual pointy tip, it's so hard that it actually drags the liner off. So you have to keep kind of going back and putting the color back on. It's like you're trying to put it on, you're trying to build it up and fill it in, and when you're doing that small work, you're trying to fill in places that you missed. So when you're trying to fill in and it's actually dragging more product away, it's quite annoying. So I'm finding it's taking longer to put this on than the other one did. It's not a horrible eyeliner. I think if I weren't comparing it to the old version, I would be like, yeah, it's a good liquid eyeliner with, the harder kind of, it's almost like it's not a felt tip anymore. It's almost like they're getting sort of plasticky in a way. So I probably would say that the tip is a little bit hard, but I don't know. I think I would like it better if I weren't comparing it to the old version, but the old version just was a lot better. So I'm not that excited about this one, and I basically feel like I'm gonna be on the search for my next latest and greatest black liquid eyeliner. I feel like this is okay, it'll do, I can use it, it'll work, but I still want to find something that's amazing, or that works a lot better. So my search is still on. If these are affordable, like if you can get a buy one get one free, or sale or something, I would still say get it, if you can get it for a good cost. But I do feel like it's taken me a little bit longer, and it's not quite as black, and the tip is definitely harder to work with. So there's that. And I think that's it for this week. So let me know, are the tips helpful? I mean, I feel like a lot of times it's common sense, and I feel like sometimes when I say it, I don't want to offend anybody by being like, hello, when I say something like, hello, just use the lip product first. I don't want somebody to feel offended because they don't like lip products in a pan. I just am trying to give you ideas to be helpful so that you can figure out how to make things that you have work for you. And, things that you might not thought of. There are so many people out there that don't know that the best way to contour is with a foundation or concealer that's too dark for them. it's not too dark. That's the whole point, but, you know, that they look at and think is too dark for them. And a lot of people just don't know that, or they don't know how to do it. Or, you know, just little things like that, I mean, I've been around forever. I have seen it, I've done it, I've tried it, I've used it, I have been there, done that, right? So, is this stuff helpful to you? Would you like me to include this going forward, this kind of stuff, in these videos? Because if you like it, I'll keep doing it. I just don't want to offend anybody because I'm saying, you know, if somebody swears that this is not the right color for me, I don't want them to feel offended because I said, yes, it is. Okay, so just let me know what you think, if you have an opinion about it, if that's helpful. And I know some people don't like to see the old products that they can't buy anymore, but I show those because a lot of people do still have them tucked away, and I want them to remember to pull them out because I want them to remember what they have, use what they have, get their money out of what they have, and, you know where I'm going with that. So, okay, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time.